All right, so I wanted to talk about that incident that happened recently in Minneapolis with that woman that lost her life to the ICE agent. If somehow you haven't seen it, I'm going to clip it in right here.
You can see the vehicle there. That's law enforcement pulling up in the pickup.
And it is the Honda Pilot that we should be focused on here. It's about a purplish, reddish color here. So let's take a look.
Agent walking up. And then there's another agent. I don't know if you can see that one right there.
Yeah, three agents involved. One was kind of closer to the front of the vehicle. The other kind of pulled on that driver's side door handle.
Yeah.
All right, so what this basically becomes is this is yet again another situation of where the left wants to victimize the wrong individual. This is something that they're very famous for doing. They do it all the time in any scenario that they can. For example, Trump had the twice attempted assassinations, and I wouldn't say they celebrated it. They didn't celebrate. They posted videos in angst, like, how can you miss? You had one job to do and all this. Like, they would have celebrated if they lost his life. They also celebrate, I can't look forward to when he dies and all this. So, in a natural way, I'm saying. But still, they're celebrating his future death that, we're all going to end up facing. Or look at Charlie Kirk. They celebrated him dying, saying, like, it was, that's what you had coming to you. Mocking it to the neck and stuff in those rallies and what have you. And why for Charlie? I don't know. They somehow seem to think that he was so bad and racist and yada, yada, yada. When really all the guy did was go to campuses and allow people to approach him to speak and have a debate on a topic that they chose. Charlie never, handpicked anybody. Charlie never led with what the topic was going to be. It was what the people who wanted to talk to him chose to do. Chose to talk about, And somehow he was the problem. He's the bad guy. But, they celebrate that. They talk crap about Erica and the kids. How they don't have a dad. Say stuff like, oh, these kids are better off without him anyways. He would have blah, blah, blah. Some terrible thing. And, or in reverse, they cry for the victim. Like George Floyd. A huge druggie, ridiculously long rap sheet, multiple instances of abuse against women and pregnant women in specific. And yet when he lost his life from a drug overdose, as basically confirmed by the coroner, nope, they want to go and cry about him, hold vigils, paint murals, build statues and all this. And now we got another one. This lady in Minneapolis who ended up losing her life at the hands of the ICE agent that fired 3 rounds into her vehicle, which struck her in the head area. So let's just talk about it. To get started, the very first thing I thought when I saw the video was, why is her car perpendicular to the street? The cars are driving horizontally, her vehicle's facing vertically. And then I wondered, why is she just sitting there? Why is she not trying to move? Why is she not doing anything? At first, I thought she was actually somebody that ICE was apprehending. I thought that's why she was just sitting there, because, she was, I don't know, being detained or whatever. So she wasn't supposed to be going anywhere. But then when I found out that she's just a regular white lady citizen, it was like, so what are you doing? So, the video that we have is a little snippet. It's just enough to build a narrative. It's just enough to show, oh, look at these ICE agents run up on her, and then look what they did. You don't know anything that happened prior to that, because you're not given what happened prior to that. When I see her parked vertically, perpendicular to the street, I think she must have been trying to impede ICE. ICE came along, and she took it upon herself to throw a tantrum, and, oh, you're not going to get anybody, blah, 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 F you, ICE, and was probably blocking the street with her vehicle to impede them. Which, sure enough, that's what it ended up coming out later, after, time has passed a little and we were able to get more information. That's what happened. ICE was trying to go after somebody, and she put her vehicle in the way so that they couldn't do their job, do what they needed to do. Second thing is, it made me wonder, how long was she bothering them for? Was she trying to impede them for 10 minutes? Half hour? A full hour? A couple of hours? Like, how long was she harassing them before they finally lost their cool? And I'm not saying took her life, but I'm saying the one guy that ran up, when he finally lost his cool and ran up to her car to try to pull her out, probably to try to arrest her and get her out of the way. The big problem right there, out of the way. Like, how long was this going on for? That I don't have an answer for. But, again, now that information is leaked, or not leaked, but has come out, I hear, yeah, she was being annoying. Like, it wasn't like this is just like a one-off thing. Like the media wants to paint it as she's just like a lady backing out of her driveway almost and just happened to get in the way of ICE and then they overreacted. When the reality is she's an antagonist. And like she's known for being a professional antagonist. She's always at these rallies and such, always there protesting and screeching her head off like all these libs do over everything nowadays. And so yeah. So in a way, even though people don't want to hear it, she brought this on herself. It's kind of like these people are crying about, oh, what do we do moving forward to ensure this doesn't happen ever again? What do you do to ensure it doesn't happen again? I don't know. Maybe mind your business. Maybe not try to interfere with ICE while they're trying to do their job. Maybe not interfere with any kind of law enforcement for that matter while they're trying to do their job. And then, these things won't happen. You know how that lady could be still alive? If she was just minding her business. If she just, I don't know, dropped her kids off at daycare and went home or went to work. Obviously, she mustn't have a job if she has all the time in the world to worry about interfering with ICE. I know if I cared, I don't care. I wish I could see ICE in my area. That would be cool. I haven't seen them yet. But if I did and I wanted to get in their way, I wouldn't be able to because I have a job to get to. I can't be, I gotta prioritize getting in the way of ICE over my job. If I lose my job, it was worth it because I was able to interfere with ICE. Like, it is what it is with ICE. And I'm sick of these people thinking that they can have any kind of authority over ICE too. Like the Minneapolis mayor was like telling ICE, get the F out of Minneapolis. That's not how it works, bro. ICE is a federal, not, what do you want to call them? Not an organization, but a federal police unit. I don't know. Like, they have jurisdiction over everything everywhere. You don't just tell them to get out. It's not how it works. They get out when their job's done. That's simple as that. So you can get on TV and say the F word as much as you want. It's not going to change anything. They're not going to leave until all the illegals that they find in your state, or in your city, I should say, Minneapolis, until all of them are gone. So anyways, yeah, back to that lady. Like, how do you prevent this from happening again? Don't interfere with ICE. When they're coming through doing their job, allow them to do their job, and they'll carry on. It's just like all these incidences with, like, black people and stuff. With police, police brutality. Really? Is it police brutality? Or is it black people don't know how to ever act right? Like, they want to say this, but, like, you see the camera footage after, and it's always the people are not cooperating at all. It's like they get pulled over and they roll down their window this much to talk to the cop, and he's asking for their ID, and they're saying something like, I want to speak to a supervisor. I want to speak to a supervisor. Not looking at the cop or anything, just saying that over and over. Or I don't have to provide you ID or whatever nonsense. Or it's one of these freaks that's, I'm a sovereign citizen. I don't have to report to your rules and all this. And it's like, obviously you're being annoying. There's a situation when you're being detained for whatever reason. Just cooperate. You know what you do if you're going to get pulled over by a cop? You pull over, you turn your car off, you have your window open all the way, you sit there with your hands on the wheel at 10 and 2, and then when the cop comes over and he starts talking to you, you answer his questions respectfully. When he says, can I have license registration, you get that for him. He does his portion, what he has to do, and then you carry on. Chances are very high anyways, if you're not a career criminal, you'll get a warning. That's all. So then he comes back, okay, blah, 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 watch your speed next time, or blah, 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 do this next time, whatever the situation may be. And then that's it. And then you carry on with your life, and, nothing happens. But no, that's not what people want to do, what these type of people want to do. They want to act up, and then they wonder why things get escalated, and then violence ends up happening. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe if you acted right, same as this dumb broad. How do we prevent it from happening again? I don't know. Mind your business. Don't get in the way. Don't try to impede law enforcement from doing what they need to do. The other thing I don't understand is the left they don't even know what they want. On one hand, they'll go and cry and say, everything's so expensive, tax the rich, this and that. And then on the other hand, apparently they're all for harboring illegals. You can't have both. You pick one or the other. You either want the illegals for whatever weird reason. I don't understand this at all. Why do you want illegals here? People that don't know the language, don't know the culture, don't belong. Why are you so hell-bent on keeping them here? But you either want that for whatever reason or you want stuff to be cheaper. You can't have both. Because when you have illegals here, they are a drain on the system. Because for some reason, our stupid government thinks, whatever, we'll just give money to all these illegals. Here you go. Well, maybe not our government per se, but the state governments do. And now they're getting free health care, they're getting this, they're getting, free housing, free health care, free whatever else. And how is it free? Well, it's free off the backs of the actual citizens, the actual taxpayers. So, yeah, that just drives costs up when it's given away to people that aren't contributing to the system at all. So if you want those illegals, then you're going to have to deal with more expensive things. If you want cheaper things, bye-bye illegals. That'll help a little bit. It never makes any sense. Just like the tax the rich nonsense they always want to say. This is irrelevant towards this video, but I did mention it, and I just want to talk about it a little deeper because, again, these lefties seem to be very dumb. They don't seem to understand basic concepts of anything ever. So, on paper, sure, the rich people are in a lower tax bracket. I don't know what it is. Let's say a billionaire is only at like 10%, where a regular citizen's at like 30-something%. So sure, it sounds like, why are we paying more? We're paying 30-something%, and the billionaire only has to pay 10%. But there's a lot of factors that go into this. First off, somebody making $60,000 a year, let's say $100,000, just because it's an easier number. If you're at 34% tax, well, that's $34,000. Granted, that's a lot out of your overall pay when you're only at $100,000, but in the grand scheme of things, $34,000 is not that much. A billionaire that has $1 billion and they get taxed 10%, that's $100 million. That is a lot of money. Like, the way I see it is, if you did something that allowed you to become a billionaire in the first place, obviously you did something good. You came up, you put a lot of time and effort into building something. You had a good idea. Everybody liked it. It took off. It's like these people have no problem using these services, but then they want to cry about the people who benefit from their own hard work. Does that make any sense at all? No. But anyways, a person to become a billionaire, they put in a lot of work and did a lot of business transactions behind the scenes and everything and got their business to where it needs to be so that then they can be a billionaire. Now they should be taxed to all hell because they made it? How does that make any sense? How is that even fair? Anybody can get there. Apply yourself. Sure, maybe not a billionaire, but you could be financially well off. Apply yourself. No, people want to get a job at some minimum wage place and think, I'm going to be set for life, and then cry about billionaires because that's not the vision they had for themselves. They actually put effort in. Like, hello, it's not a hard concept. So, yeah, it's stupid that they think that billionaires should be taxed more. $100 million isn't enough? The second thing is, these people seem to not understand that billionaires don't just sit around with $1 billion in their bank account. They have a lot of money in assets, in the stock market, in real estate, in whatever else. Maybe stocks and bonds, and, stock market, but in bonds and whatever other gold bars, silver bars. So their overall worth is $1 billion, but maybe on-hand cash is only a few million. So again, what do you tax? You're going to tax all these non-taxable sources of income that they have? Their real estate? How do you tax their property? How do you tax their gold bar? So, they don't really have money that you can just tax freely. Sure, they have a lot of assets if they sold everything. If they sold everything, they'd have $1 billion, but it doesn't mean they have $1 billion. Let's take Elon. Last I knew, he was at $400 billion of worth. That's a lot. But obviously, that doesn't mean he has $400 billion just hanging out in the bank account. That means he's got a majority stake of Tesla, majority stake of SpaceX. He has Um, what else is he a part of? He's part of some kind of railroad system or something, underground tunnel system, something. Neuralink, there's that one too. He's a majority shareholder. He used to be part of PayPal. I don't know if he still is or if he sold that. I think he might have sold it when he did something with Tesla, but he owns Twitter X. So he has all those. Now, being the majority shareholder of these doesn't necessarily mean he's getting money. He just has a lot of stock. So in theory, he could sell that stock and it would get him a ton of money. But as it currently sits, it's just money that is under his name, but in the market that he doesn't have. I don't know what his salary actually is from all these businesses he owns, but obviously it's not 400 billion. 400 billion is just if he sold everything. So what are you going to tax him on? Like, that's something else these people never seem to understand. They just want to cry about it though. Oh, well, I put no effort into my life, so somebody that did try hard and built up a business, shame on them. They should pay 99% taxes. Yes, they should. That makes so much sense. Here's the other thing, too. These people that are billionaires, chances are they have successful businesses. Look at Jeff Bezos. Not really a fan of the guy, but you know what? He built his company up from a dumb little bookstore that he was running out of his garage. And he turned it into this huge empire that competes with Walmart, possibly is even more popular than Walmart now. I say Walmart because Walmart used to be like the top of the line retail chain. Now it's like Amazon has most likely taken over. And you order stuff and you can get it pretty quickly. You can get it, what is it? They have delivery that's even up to like within an hour, which is just insane how that's even an option. But yeah, he put in all this work and obviously it has created tons of jobs. People working in the warehouses, people doing the deliveries, people doing customer service, whatever other fields there are. People that work on the website for Amazon, people that, IT, etc. It's a lot of jobs. But, we got to tax Jeff Bezos 99%, right? Because he's rich. How does that make any sense? How is that fair? All that work that he put in starting in his garage and building himself up and making the business deals to help himself grow. And then when he did start to grow, reinvesting into his company to help it grow more and more and more until it got to the point where it's at now. Now you're going to tax the heck out of him? It doesn't make any sense at all. And, all these jobs he's created and the services. A lot of people like to use Amazon. Amazon obviously is popular. But now we're going to complain about it because it doesn't fit a narrative? It's so stupid. So anyways, it goes back to this broad. A little tangent there, but it just has to do with, like, all these people that just don't ever think and act like morons and then want to cry about it, want to play victim. Oh, she shouldn't have been killed. Oh, okay, fine, sure, maybe not. But you know what? She 100% brought it on herself. Don't act like a moron and nothing's going to happen to you. Don't go out and impede with law enforcement and then wonder why you got injured when you end up getting injured. If you get pulled over and the cop asks you for basic documents and you refuse to give it to him and then he gets frustrated and tases you or something, don't act surprised why you got tased. You're acting like a dickhead. What do you expect? He's just supposed to stand there and take it from you, let you run the show? He is the law enforcement officer. He's running the show, not you. You got pulled over for a reason. You were doing something wrong. Deal with it. And then another thing they try to cry about, oh, this is annoying. They try to cry about how, oh, she was a mother. And, some of the stations show a image of her glove box, how it had, like, stuffed animals falling out of it. And it's like, she was a terrible mother. Let's get that straight. First off, from what I understand, she had her kids, or at least, I think she had 3 kids, and she had at least 2 of them, if not all of them, taken from her. Because she would burn them with lit cigarettes. Oh, wow, yeah, she was a mom. I bet you those kids really loved how their mom treated them, too. Being burnt with cigarettes. Such a loving mother. Second off, obviously she doesn't really care about her kids that much when she's going to be a professional protester. And I say this because I have my daughter, and there's a lot that I sacrifice to be there in her life consistently, whether it's good job opportunities or even just doing something stupid. Sometimes somebody makes me mad, like road rage type situation, and I think about like pulling over and running up to their car and, getting a little hostile. But then I'm like, it's not worth it. This is going to result in me getting arrested, and then what? So I sit there and just deal with it, even though I'd like to do more than just dealing with it. But it's because I think of my kid, And I think it's not worth it. Well, clearly this broad doesn't think of her kids. She drops them off at daycare so that way then she can attend these stupid events. Oh, I'm going to go to this rally now and protest whatever X thing it is nowadays that the left is telling me to protest. I'm not going to think of my kids and think, oh, what if I got arrested? What if this happened? What if that? Nope, I'm just thinking of myself and what I want to do. And then speaking of thinking of myself, she was in a gay relationship. She was married to a woman. You think that's thinking of her kids? Where's the kid's dad? For one, where's their dad? Do they even see their dad? Is their dad even a decent guy? Or is he some kind of scumbag? Which only shows what her character is, that she goes after scumbag type of guys. Guys that maybe abused her or abused the kids or just deadbeats who, oh, you're pregnant? Oh, I'm dipping. You know, what does that say about her character? Obviously nothing good. And, but yeah, and then you're going to go with a woman, so now you're depriving those children of like a normal household where there's a male and a female, even if it's a mother and a father, I should say. But even if it's not the kid's actual father, at least to have a male presence is better than two women grow up in a weird gay home. And then what happens? It's all about pro-LGBT nonsense, and we know how that usually goes, at least with gays. You know, when there's gay homes, that's where it's, a lot of times is a problem. I don't know about in lesbian homes, but I assume it's, you know, the same type of avenue. I mean, I also know this much. Lesbian relationships have the highest rates of divorce. So what? Now you're going to be with a woman and then get a divorce shortly thereafter. And now what? Your kids have to get used to a new woman. And then what? You guys split up and they have to get used to a new woman. And it's just constantly revolving doors of relationships. Again, not thinking about your kids. You're thinking about yourself and your sexual needs, which is kind of disgusting in the grand scheme of things. When you have kids, it shouldn't go, my kids or my sexual needs? Obviously my sexual needs. My deviant sexual needs at that too, by getting into a lesbian relationship. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it overall. Actually, one more thing. The left keeps trying to say, oh, she wasn't trying to run the guy over, the ICE officer over. Yeah, she was. Here's the clip.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Whoa!
You know, you can try to argue it from the main clip that she wasn't doing that, but you can't really argue it when you see it from the body cam that she was turning into him and it made him fall over on the body cam, got all fuzzy and all this. Like, she's a professional protester. Yeah, she was trying to run the guy over. That's what she does for fun. I'd say for a living, but it's not for a living. She does it for free. She does it for fun. So yeah, any opportunity that she has to act like an idiot, she's taking it. So, yeah. That's about all I have. Of course, everybody's crying about this broad, and it's like, no, she was a problem, and she brought this on herself. I'm not trying to condone and say that I should be going out and eliminating people like this. Like, yeah, do more. But I'm just saying, you want to act up? This is what you get. Like, this should become the norm. Because, you know, then what'll happen? The interfering with ICE will start to cease. People will start to be like, well, geez, do I really want to do this and then risk my life? If they know that that's what's going to happen, cause and effect. Right now, there really is no effect. These people are always protesting everything, gluing themselves to the middle of the street, vandalizing artwork in museums, burning down buildings, and nothing happens to them. They're able to do this and get away with it. At least if it's a leftist stance. If you're on the right, then it's a problem. January 6th, one of the worst days in history because elderly people took a free tour of the White House. These people were so violent and obnoxious, yet there's pictures of them walking in between the red, the red guides, walking through those. Well, yeah, wow, those people are so violent, they need to be prosecuted and put in jail. But yet, when the left burns down a whole city, it's mostly peaceful. It's fiery, but mostly peaceful. Okay. Or when some freak is interfering with federal business, Oh, they are the victim. I can't believe that this person lost their life. That ICE agent needs to be prosecuted. No, he doesn't. He needs to be left alone to do his job. You wanted to get in the way, well, you effed around and you found out. You know, that's a meme that's been trending too. FAFO. You FA'd hard and you effed out, you FO'd even harder. Just act right. It's really not that hard to do. I mean, they teach you how to act right when you're a kid in grade school. I don't know why people forgot how to do this. Did they not teach that anymore? Is it just free-for-all now and the teachers don't instill any, like, okay, I'm speaking, listen to me anymore and stuff like that? Is it just, oh, well, you're talking, I guess I'm just useless now. I'm going to sit here and you're running the show. Is that how it goes now? Apparently, based on how everybody seems to act. But yeah. I guess that's really all I got. Thought that I had one more point, but I'm drawing a blank now, so it is what it is. I just wanted to talk about this, though, because here we go. This will be the latest thing now that the left is going to cry about and act like she was such a saint. You're going to hear about her all the time, when really, you know, she was a piece of crap. Let's be blunt. She's got a rap sheet. She's terrible to her children. She just wants to protest every single thing. Not a quality person. Not saying that, you know, she shouldn't have her life anymore, but I'm just saying, like, it's not like it's just some innocent person going for a walk and ICE was like, oh, got her. Oh, and also one last thing is, nobody talks about this, but she had a dog in the car with her too, and when she ended up driving off and slamming into that parked car, I hope nothing happened to that poor dog. Nobody wants to talk about him, you know. Hopefully he's not injured or lost his life as a result of his mom being an idiot. Anyhow, that's it. So thanks for listening. And yeah, if you don't want to have anything bad happen to you, just act right. It's really simple to do.
The precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job. The idea that Tim Walz and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis are going to go after and make this guy's life miserable because he was doing the job that he was asked to do is preposterous.